Well, hello there, girlfriend. Ingafay here. Super excited to share another one of my coaching girlfriends with you. We are going to talk to Bonnie today, and Bonnie has worked over 30 plus years in the natural product industry, wholesale, retail, manufacturing, and distribution law. And she's all about helping encourage people to live a healthy and wealthy life. So, without further ado, we can't wait to show you and introduce you to Bonnie. We'll see you inside. What's up, Bonnie girl?
Oh, I'm just so thrilled to be here with you, Ingafay. Meeting you has been just such a joy, and I am so thrilled to be able to meet with your audience and just share a few of the things that I know that I've learned over the many years.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Bonnie. I feel the same, girlfriend. Well, I am so excited to be talking about health during the holidays.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, I wanted you to share a little bit more with my audience about you, who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them.
Well, thank you for asking again. Thank you for having me on the program. Bonnie McDonald Dixon. I am a woman of the West Coast. I've lived from Los Angeles and I'm now residing in Canada.
Wow.
And through the many years, I just love the natural products industry. Even when I was a little kid, I just loved it. And I told my mom, hey, Mom, throw out all the white flour and sugar and everything. And she just looked at me like I was crazy. But
like most people do, right?
Like most people do. And so from there, I just really had a keen eye learning about the plants of the neighborhood in Southern California. I loved gardening. I loved cooking. It was just so much fun. And through my journey in the industry, I've met many, many people that have inspired me and many, many people who I have learned from that there's simple things that we can do to make our life better. Sometimes people think, oh, I've got to do this and this and this and this. What if we just do 1% better on something, one item? And I'm going to give you some tips today.
Right.
And choose one.
Yep.
From now through these holidays, one of these tips can really make a difference.
Awesome.
And so with no further ado, well, I guess I should share a little bit more. What I love to do is help people who are in pain. That's a particular one. It's my joy, and I love to serve people to help them get out of pain. It's my joy to help people just feel well-being overall. And it's my joy to say that as my husband and I's lifestyle is the healthy, wealthy camper, to do that wherever you go, whether you want to travel, whether you want to stay at home and go for a walk, whether you want to just play with your kids, whether you want to dance, any of it. Having your health is everything. And it is the old adage, your health is your wealth.
Yes.
A lot of people build wealth only to turn around and spend it on their health. So we can do this all along the way and feel better and just really enjoy our lives. It makes a big, big difference.
Wonderful.
So thank you. That was kind of a long intro, but there you go.
No, it was good. It was perfect. Perfect. So now let's get down to the nitty gritty, because I know many of us are, especially the last minute shoppers, are probably exhausted at this point. So tell us, if you are one of those folks that are really feeling exhausted, what can you do for a quick pick-me-up?
The number one thing, you're not going to believe it. It's so simple. Drink a glass of water. What happens is we get dehydrated and we don't know it. We start getting a little headache, start feeling lethargic. We're like, what's going on? Well, you're literally dehydrated. Now, some people say, well, I don't like water. Well, there's two things you can do. You can spritz it up with a squeeze of lemon if you're at home. But if you're out and about, another quick tip is you can eat a piece of fruit that's juicy, like a orange. That will help you hydrate a little bit. Or even a banana full of potassium. And it's so the fruits and vegetables you eat can hydrate you as well. So that's my number one tip. And a lot of people think, well, that's so simple. Believe me, it works. I know.
Yes. See, I'm loving that you're saying some things that I've already said, but you know how that goes when they hear it from somebody else. They're just like, oh my gosh, that was just such great advice. I'm just going to let them feel that way. So let's talk about being overwhelmed, because I'm sure many people right now are overwhelmed as well. What would be a recommendation that you would give them to what can they do?
It's the opposite of what you think. People say, well, I don't have time to sleep. I'm going. Well, I'm going to ask you to go to bed a little earlier.
Yeah.
When you get a good night's sleep, and there's many things that can help with that. A good night's sleep will then rest and repair your tissues overnight, and you go and wake up again. Now, again, you might feel lethargic. So drink a glass of water first thing when you get up in the morning. Am I a repetitive thing? Yes. Drink your water. But
exactly.
To get a good night's sleep, if you're not getting a good night's sleep, you're tossing and turning, you can get up, you can have a cup of tea, and just don't pick up the phone. Don't look at any electronics. Try to just deep breathe and just in, hold, relax. Let it out as far as you can go. Do that several times. Sometimes just getting rid of the excess energy by breathing can help relax you enough to go back to sleep. So number 1, hydrate. Number 2, get a good night's sleep this time of the year. So those are 2 tips. And breathe.
And breathe. It's the simple things, right? The little simple things.
I mean, you can actually do the breath during the day. Like if you're starting to feel overwhelmed, the kids are screaming. Actually, I was in a store the other day and people were agitated. I could feel their agitation. Deep breathe just for yourself right then and there. No one has to even know. Deep breathe in, hold, relax, let it go. That again will help de-stress you. So, and no one else has to even know what's going on.
Awesome.
So there you go. I just thought of another really cool tip though.
Okay.
This one I learned the other day myself. Put your fingers together. Let's see. There we go. And again, no one has to even know you're doing this. And rub them together quietly just for about 10 or 20 seconds. That is a de-stressor. Isn't that fun?
Wow.
Yes, it really works.
That's cool. He's given us de-stress tips that we can do on the down low. So that's cool.
Right.
All right. So now, girl, we're going to talk about the thing that people are probably going to really be indulging in over this holiday season. And that's eating. So what are we supposed to eat? Tell us about that.
This is my favorite thing to talk about. I love eating. I've always loved eating. I love cooking. Not everybody does. But soup. Did I say soup? Vegetable soup if possible.
Okay.
Your audience, I will be happy to share the best soup I've ever had. I got the recipe in Italy. It's a vegetable soup called ribollita soup. But mainly think about any kind of soup, but not real fatty, like not full of fat, but potato soup is good. Potatoes are actually very relaxing. And vitamin C in there. Split pea soup, high fiber. We have vegetable soup, beef barley soup. Oh my gosh, barley. The beef will give you the vitamins, the B vitamins, and the barley will give you the fiber. If you put some carrots and celery in there, you say, oh, I don't have time to make soup. If you make it once, make a big batch, and you can freeze it. You can portion it out. And having a cup of soup a day, especially before you go out to a party, you're going to feel so much better because it will actually decrease the amount of calories you're eating every day if you have a bowl of soup.
Oh,
that's
wow.
a statistic.
Really?
Also, if your blood sugars are stable, you feel better and more energetic throughout the day. It's when we spike our blood sugar levels by eating too much, by having really sugary drinks or alcohol can spike your blood sugars.
Right.
And then it goes up and then bam, down. But if we have vegetable soup, maybe with the barley, the peas, that again stabilizes the blood sugar levels and you're going to feel so much better and it's going to keep your energy more level. And remember, when our kids and ourselves and our husbands, they get hangry, it's not pretty.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's funny that you say that because I can think of a time I was in the airport with my parents and I was hangry and I happened to be in the Detroit airport. And my dad, God rest his soul, he used to call it, Inga had a Detroit attack, is what he called it. Because I was hangry and I was not very pleasant. So, yeah, I can definitely understand that. Yes, I can relate to that totally. What were you going to say?
That, when we're out and about, if we're a gal, put a Ziploc baggie of almonds in your purse.
Okay.
Boy, that's a lifesaver. You're running, you're going, and all of a sudden you realize, I'm getting hangry, but I don't want to stand in a long line of fast food, and I don't, so grab a few nuts, especially particularly raw almonds. You will be amazed. Even like 4 or 5 will calm everything down. Again, settle. It will give you enough energy because they're high in fat, strangely enough, but they're high in protein, and they will stabilize your blood sugar level.
Okay.
So that's a really good tip. Is to have
that's a great tip. Yeah, that's a great tip. It's a great tip. So what about those that love those sweets? What would you recommend that they eat during the holidays to kind of satisfy that sweet tooth without those rich type of options that most of us indulge in and get that holiday 15?
Chocolate. The darker, the better. because what happens is it's very satisfying on the palate to have chocolate.
Okay.
And sometimes if you want chocolate, but hot chocolate,
okay,
is very satisfying too. So but some people don't like chocolate. So that's a good question. If you're going to eat something, and just so everyone knows, that's my bugaboo. I love cookies. I love goodies. But this year I've really noticed that if you eat a cookie, again, that has nuts in it or has more than just flour, sugar, and butter.
Right.
If you can get something with fruit on it, like if you're going to eat a pie, pecan pie is probably the most high calorie pie there is. There are nuts, but I would avoid that one.
Right.
Apple pie would be, say, better than a lemon meringue pie because it's got fruit in it.
Yeah.
So think of it that way. What else could I say about sweets? Also, this is a handy tip. You can use mints. So there's mints usually out and about and around there, or take Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
And mint will actually satisfy a sweet tooth.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's good. So the peppermints are good to have in the purse.
Absolutely.
Not only for your breath, but also for your blood sugar.
Well, there does something. I think what it is if we're going this way, like just going, you want to do something different.
Right.
So if you're wanting sweet, you might even do an opposite and do a salty. It's an interesting phenomena. And I'm trying to think when I'm out and about and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Right. Again, the nut trick, the water trick, the vegetable trick. Mm-hmm. And some people, and this is for real, you might go to the tray that has the meat and cheese if you do eat meat. And you can take a piece of cheese and a piece of, I don't know, whatever, ham or turkey, and roll it up without the cracker. And that's very blood sugar stabilizing as well.
Now that you said that, why wouldn't we want to eat the cracker?
Well, because number one, you don't really need it. And number two, the other part of it is just as satisfying. Every time we eat a little bit of carbohydrate, it will elevate the blood sugar. And blood sugars, just think about people of the many, many years ago did not eat wheat. Wheat is a very new grain to humankind.
Really?
It is. It's one of the newest. They call it, this is a funny story, they call it the stupid grain. It's got gluten in it. And just so people know, gluten intolerance may not be all that it seems. What's happened over the many years is they're harvesting it by killing it with Roundup. And Roundup is a weed killer.
Right.
And they use it to kill the crop so they can harvest earlier. So a lot of people say, I can't eat wheat. It may not be the wheat itself, but the less grains we eat, probably the better. And crackers are basically flour and water. There's not much there, and no fiber. There's no fiber in most crackers unless you really look for a high fiber cracker.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. You're giving us some juicy stuff, lady.
It's fun.
Okay, so you said that wheat is something that is new. So why is it so much attention put on bread then? Like, you think of a sandwich, they glamorize the sandwich all the time. I see that more, it's something with some kind of bread. You very rarely see something where it's just meat like you just described.
Right. Think about it. People of yesteryear, they had the wheat, but they ground it up with what they could, the stone burr grinder. Stone burr is a very coarse way. So the grain itself was not pulled apart. So white flour has the endosperm. It has the wheat germ, which is where the fat is in the wheat, which has vitamins and nutrients. It has the bran, the hull, which is basically fiber, insoluble fiber for wheat. It has the endosperm, which is the white part. And they pull it all apart and sell it all separately. If it were all together, that would have fiber in it. It would have vitamins in it. It would stabilize our blood sugar. But white flour actually doesn't have the fiber. It's pretty much pure carbs. And so people didn't eat that in the yesteryear. They ate the whole grain. Old time European bread was very heavy and dense. It was quite different than the modern day breads of today. So turn your bread. I love to read your wrappers. Turn your bread over. I like to see at least 3 grams of fiber per slice. You'll find that it's you just got to turn it over and look.
Yeah. Well, that's great feedback. So 3 grams per slice of fiber.
Per slice. Not all of them have that, and some do, some don't. The only caveat, here's the caveat: sourdough. sourdough bread has broken down because of the sourdough and the lactic acid and the whole action of the sourdough. The yeast has all broken it down. Often you feel more full. I've seen sourdough pastas.
Yeah.
I've seen sourdough breads, and you'll find you're full faster and stay more stable. So that's the only caveat on the white. So I do avoid white bread, white rolls, they're sitting there. Just avoid those. Keep going. Pass them by.
Keep on going. Keep on going.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, girl, you have given us some great information here. Thank you so much. Now, I wanted to ask you before we close, do you have any final thoughts you would like to share with my audience about health?
Yes, I do. This one's really important for this time of year. If you're feeling angry or anxious, take a deep breath again, walk around the block if you can, walk into another room, sit, have a cup of tea, try as you might, whatever it takes, not to let your anger or anxiety go all over everyone else.
Right.
That is really health for the holidays. You're going to go into a family gathering and there's going to be someone there that's really poking you.
Right.
And I just am going to encourage you to not avoid, smile at them, and just don't take it personal, and know that you won't be there forever. You'll just be there for a bit.
Yep.
And that you can get through this too. And that they have their views and you have your views. It could be politics, it could be religion, it could be the way you fold your clothes.
Right.
But we want to, at this time of year, avoid as much blow-ups as possible. And the anger and anxiety part of it, there's many other things I could share with you. So feel free to reach out to me and we can talk about it. But think about that as one of your strategies through this health through the holidays.
Awesome. Yeah, so I wanted to actually show your website here as a means for folks to get in contact with you. You got health tips. Do you have a freebie that you're giving away?
I do. They can go there. And I love sharing. I love sharing recipes, ideas. I have health tips going on. 3 p.m. on Fridays now, Pacific time. I am doing another little 15-minute clip of more tips for the holidays.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so I'm going to keep this up because people really do need that extra little reminder, as you said. Oh yeah, drink water. Yeah, something simple, right?
Yep.
And it's those simple things, if we do them consistently,
exactly,
will make this huge difference. You're going to feel so much better.
Yes. That consistency is definitely the key, right? You told us to drink water, you told us to go to bed, and you told us to make sure we watch what we're eating. So yeah, the simple things that most people don't want to do. Yeah. And especially
what your grandma told you, and I'm a grandma.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so, well, thank you so much for your time, Bonnie. I'm sure my audience thoroughly enjoyed you because I know I did. And for those that are watching, if you know of anyone you would like me to interview like I did Bonnie today, by all means, share the contact with me. I would love to bring the person onto the show so you guys can continue to learn more about how to take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of you, nobody else will. And with that, we'll say bye for now.
Thank you so much, Ingafay. You're a blessing.
Oh, you are too, girl.